What's going on, guys? So for today's video, we're going to talk trail camera settings. Specifically, we're going to talk about the ideal settings if your intent is to save money by consuming as little data as possible each month. So how you can still gain all the intel that a cell cam provides without having to upgrade that data plan. We're also going to cover the best settings possible for conserving battery life. So for those of you who hunt out of town or just want to make it through the season on a single set of batteries without going in and disturbing the area, what are the best settings possible to save all that battery? Plus, we're also going to dive into the best settings if you intend to use your trail camera as a security camera. Now, these three topics, even though we're talking about settings within Scout Tech, this is more of a generalized trail camera setting video, so you can take this knowledge, apply it to other platforms. Just know that if they have these same settings, it may be named something different. So whether you're new to cell cams or you've been using them for a while and you're just a little unsure if your settings are correct, stick around. We'll talk about these in more detail, and let's talk trail cameras, guys. All right, guys, so how can we save money by consuming less data each month? There's a few things you need to know here. The first and most obvious thing is avoid video mode. Now, we all love to see trail camera videos, especially if it's two bucks fighting during the rut. But guys, you can get just as much intel from a single photograph as you can from a video. And yeah, we can compress the photo and upload it as a thumbnail to save you on some data, and we'll talk about that in a second. But for videos, it doesn't work that way. And what most people don't realize, let's say your trail camera films in 30 frames per second. For every 1 second of video is the equivalent of 30 HD photos getting uploaded to the app. So you guys do the math. When you're getting these 15, 20-second videos coming in every day, you're really going to burn through some data. So be sure to stick to photo mode only. The second setting, and this doesn't apply to everyone, but most cameras on the Scout Tech platform have a setting called upload photo quality. It gives you the option between a thumbnail and an enhanced photo. The enhanced photo is just the middleman between the little thumbnail and the full-size HD photo. For this, I would leave it set to standard. Guys, you got to remember, for every thumbnail that's uploaded to the app, that full-size HD photo is still saved at that SD card, assuming you haven't formatted it. So you don't need these enhanced photos of birds and squirrels and does or whatever else is setting your trail camera off. Wait till you find a photo you want to save and just request that HD version. Now, when it comes to requesting HD photos, there's another setting you guys need to pay attention to. And I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole and get into too much detail, but I will link a video in the description below that was put out by Exodus Outdoor Gear a few years back called The Biggest Lie Trail Camera Companies Sell You On When It Comes to Photo Resolution. Now, this setting is called HD image size or just image size, depending what camera you have, but let me just pull up my app and show you an example. So this camera right here, it gives me the option between 3 megapixels and 32 megapixels. And you're probably thinking, well, of course I want the 32 megapixel. You want that higher res, high quality photo, right? It's actually wrong. It's a marketing gimmick. I promise you, if you set it down to 3 megapixels, have your camera take a photo, request that HD photo, then switch it to 32 megapixels, do the same thing, let it take a photo and request that HD photo. You can put those two HD photos side by side, and guys, you cannot tell the difference between the two. As far as quality and resolution, they are the exact same. I know when it's 32 megapixels, all they really do is just blow it up and digitally add pixels. The only difference you'll be able to tell is that that 32 megapixel photo used a lot more of your data than that 3 megapixel photo. So again, guys, like I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. It's really just a marketing gimmick. I'll leave that video in the description below. But another little tip I'll give you, and this is just if you're pinching pennies here, like for me, if I want to save 10 or less photos a month, I'll just request those HD photos from the app just for convenience sake. But if I find myself wanting to save 20, 30 photos because I got some nice bucks coming through there, I'll just be patient. Next time I go out to that camera, I'll swap SD cards. Then I can take that card home and go through all of them and save them at once and not have to use that data by having all these HD photos uploaded to the app. Now, another setting that you guys need to pay attention to, and this doesn't apply to everyone, only those of you who run cameras over food plots, feeders, and in areas of high traffic, and that's to take advantage of trigger delays. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people run cameras over food plots or feeders with a 5-second trigger delay, and then they get 1,000 photos in a week of the same few does just eating. I mean, if I know those deer are going to be out there for an hour every afternoon, I'll run a 15-minute trigger delay. And then those 4 photos is plenty enough intel. I know what time they're coming, how many are there, and when they're leaving. So take advantage of trigger delays. Remember, use photo mode, use that standard thumbnail, adjust that imaging size to a lower megapixel. And one other setting you guys can change, and it's not a camera setting, it's a setting within Scout Tech, is your overage tolerance. So for those of you who are really on a budget, you don't want to have to upgrade that data plan, you don't want to get stuck with overages, go into your My Account section. At the top by your data plan, you'll want to change your overage tolerance to do not allow overages. That way, if you run out of data on the 25th, your camera will get suspended. You won't need to upgrade your plan. You won't get stuck with overages. And then on the first, when it restarts, those photos will come in from the past 5 days and your data cycle starts all over again. All right, guys, so let's talk about the best settings for conserving battery life. For those of you who have cameras out of town and it's not convenient for you to just go swap batteries, or for those of you who just don't want to go and disturb that area, you need a single set of batteries to get you through a season. What are the best settings for this? Now, this is fairly simple. There's a few things you need to pay attention to, but the most important thing is that on-demand setting. It needs to be turned off. For those of you who don't know what on-demand is, when that setting is checked in Scout Tech, it means that camera's cellular module has constant power. The reason it does this is so when you go to request a settings change, it will change it right then and there. If you request a photo or a video, it will record it and upload it right then and there. But for most of us who are just scouting or trying to pattern a buck, we don't necessarily need this. When you leave that on-demand box unchecked, you can double the battery life for your trail camera. So make sure you have on-demand unchecked. The second most important thing you want to pay attention to is that upload interval. I would set it to anything other than real time. You can burn through some batteries every single time it takes a photo. That camera has to boot up, find signal, connect to the server, upload the photo, and then it shuts back down. And it repeats this process every single time that there's a new photo. The best setting possible would set it to 24-hour upload. That way it can save those photos all throughout the day, which uses very little battery, and then it only has to boot up and connect to the server once a day, uploads all those photos in a batch, and then it can power back down. So change that upload interval to anything other than real time and make sure on demand is unchecked. Doing these two things will get you significantly more life out of your batteries. And of course, with cell cameras, we always recommend running a solar panel. It defeats the purpose if you're going back out there to swap batteries all the time. So whether you need a large capacity solar panel or a smaller capacity solar panel, we sell both of them in our store. But like I said, we always recommend pairing a solar panel with a cellular trail camera. All right, guys, so let's talk security settings. For those of you who have a property with either no Wi-Fi or no power at all, and you're forced to use a trail camera as a security camera, what are the best settings? Now, this can be a little tricky. It really determines how you have your camera positioned will really determine your settings. And what I mean by that is, are you expecting a person or vehicle to pass by your camera this way? Are they going to be coming to or away from your camera this way? Some people like to mount it up high and have it look down at a gate or a driveway. Some people will mount them face level looking at a house or a build site so they can get everything in frame. So depending how you have your camera set up will really determine your settings. But as a general rule of thumb, it's best to run photo mode with a burst count of 2 or 3. Or if you run video mode, make it a shorter video such as 5 or 10 seconds. Because guys, you got to remember, you just have to assume that that thief or potential trespasser is going to notice your camera, and the first thing they're going to do is go steal it, break the antenna, turn it off, steal your SD card, something. So you need as much intel as possible in a short amount of time. If you opt for some 20-30 second video, it may be in the middle of uploading by the time they notice your camera and break it and turn it off, and now you're left with nothing. If it's on photo mode with a burst count of 2 or 3, you'll at least have a few photos or something to go on before they turn your camera off. So another setting you'll want to pay attention to if you're using photo mode, that is that upload photo quality. Now guys, we put this in here specifically for security reasons. You will want to leave that set to enhanced. Now, why do you want it as enhanced? Because like I said, if you just get that blurry thumbnail uploaded to the app, normally you can go back and request that HD photo. You can't do that if they've powered your camera off and stolen your SD card. So you need that clear high-res image coming straight to the app, saved in the cloud, so it doesn't matter if they turn your camera off and steal it. you have that nice clear picture of their face or license plate that you can turn into authorities. Now, another setting that is crucial, that's the upload interval. It has to be real time. Like I said, guys, you need that info as soon as it happens. You need to get as much intel as quick as possible. You will want to make sure that upload interval is set to real time. Now, besides having that upload interval set to real time, I'll at least make sure my trigger delay is as low as possible so I can get as many photos or videos coming in before that person has a chance to steal my camera. So in short, you'll want photo mode with the burst count set to enhanced or video mode with a shorter video length. You'll want that trigger delay as low as possible and that upload interval set to real time. Alright guys, so that basically sums it up. It's pretty straightforward, but if there's any other settings you guys have questions about or just questions and comments in general, be sure to drop it down below because I could talk trail cameras all day. If you haven't done so already, like and subscribe to our YouTube page. Be sure to check out our store. We got some exciting things coming that are not necessarily trail cameras. And again, thank you guys for watching and good luck scouting this season.